Hello everyone, my name is Robert Hollis. I hope you're having a wonderful and blessed day. Today's video is how to dream. How to dream. So if you're watching this on the reels, you can go to roberthollis.com/free, get a copy of my book, How Is That Working, for free, a PDF copy. And we'll get started here just in a little bit. So thank you, Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook, for sending out and letting everybody know that we're here. And I already see people popping up. Hi, Bill. Thank you very much for being on here. Thank you. I take that as a compliment. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Craig. Hi, Bernie. Hi, my lovely wife, Terry. Hi, Melody. Love and appreciate you, Angela. We'll get started here just in a little bit. I'm going to dedicate this to Daniel Roez out of Colombia. I thought he put together a pretty good question. Hey, John, Carol, Kai, Ola, nice to have you guys on here. And I see we're after 1 minute. Dustin, author, so I'll get going. So here we go. Hello, buddy. My name is Robert Hollis. I hope you're having a wonderful and blessed day. And today's title is How to Dream. How to Dream. Now, that might be a really, really simple subject, but I think a lot of people are having a little bit of difficulty with this. And so, you know, there's a saying out there, I believe by Mark Twain, is I can show someone how to get anything they want in life. I personally believe that. I, Robert Hollis, can show you how to get anything you want in life. But first, you got to know what you want. It's very, very difficult to find people that will really clearly define with you what they want. All right? Now, me, I can remember through years of my life struggling with this, but there was always this thought in my mind that even when I was young, that if somebody else had a bicycle, I needed to figure out how to get a bicycle. And I found out how to get money, became, shoveled lawns, mowed lawns, delivered papers, whatever I had to do to get money. I just figured if people had a bicycle, then I deserved a bicycle. You know what I mean? I had to figure out how to get it. And I just kept on that path. If other people had snowmobiles, if other people had motorcycles, eventually, if someone had a car, you know what I mean? Wow, other people at high school have a car. I would like to get a car. I would like to get a driver's license. And you guys got to understand that everything in life, even, having a relationship, maybe getting married, getting your job, the very first job that you have. The first thing I want each and every one of you to know, maybe having children, is that every one of you at times in your life truly wanted something. And what happens in life is expectations, right? So when you're young, everybody expects you to go to school. When you're in 6th grade, everyone expects you to go to 7th grade. When you're in junior high, everyone expects you to go to high school. And then all of a sudden, you're supposed to get a job. Everybody expects you to get a job. And then maybe everyone expects you to get a relationship, have children, maybe had a really good job. And then guess what? Nobody expects anything out of you again. Maybe the expectation is be a law-abiding citizen. Maybe, keep your job or get a better job. But it's like all the people around you, I did a video yesterday, you become who you hang around. And so all of a sudden, we get in this plateau where it becomes very competitive. And now it's like, if I'm a mechanic, then my cousin's going to be a plumber. And my other cousin is going to be a welder. And my other cousin's going to be a contractor. And my other cousin's going to be excavating. It's like all of a sudden, we're in this thing that there's really not any more expectations from anybody. You know what I mean? Angela, hey, don't go to prison. Maybe that's an expectation. Don't get hooked on drugs. You know what I mean? Don't die. But all of a sudden, we stop dreaming. We stop dreaming and we start conforming. We stop dreaming and it was brought up on another TV show that I watched about the quiet quitters, that they're just in their mind going, my company doesn't appreciate me. They're doing everything they can to cut my hours, maybe lay me off, not give me any benefits. Then I'm just going to do as little as possible to just keep my job. But there's a lot of people out there, what we talked about yesterday, is that all of a sudden we realize that all the people that we're hanging out with are just getting by. Like Lisa says, just settling. Hi, Rosalind. Hi, Angela. And so all of a sudden it's like, that's it. That's it, right? And so how to dream is something that I didn't know how to do, because it has a lot to do with what we call your money circle, right? So if you could imagine a circle in your mind and it's your money circle, that's how much money you make, right? And then all of a sudden your dreams are outside of that income circle. Maybe a bigger house in a nicer area or a safer area. Maybe a new car. Nah. Maybe a vacation. I don't need a vacation. So what we do is we just conform and we settle and we just become, I don't know, just hey, then we hang around people that say money doesn't buy happiness. But it doesn't. Poverty doesn't buy happiness either. And so, you're just hanging out there, and everyone you hang around is just doing the same damn thing, man. It's like, that's it. That's it. And me, for whatever reason, I always hung around people that seemed to be doing just a little bit more. So I hung out with my cousins when I was really young. They were really older than me, but they built race cars and they went racing at the drag strip. The closest drag strip we had was like 4 or 5 hours away in Glendive, Montana. And I grew up in Williston, North Dakota. And so if you're competitive, now it's like, I want to build a car that's quicker than the other people's cars. Huh? And that takes money. There's a funny statement that's brought up in a lot of hobbies. But you know how you can make a small fortune in racing? It's very simple. You start out with a large one. People that, have race cars or boats have sort of this funny, the two happiest moments in your life is the day that you bought a boat and the day that you sold the boat. Sometimes that's the same thing with RVs, right? So you look around and you got the side by side, you got the boat, you got the fifth wheel, you go camping, and so you're in that little higher range, you know what I mean? But there's people so when I got into the racing world, there was a friend of mine, David Beckley, and I just told him, I said, listen, you know what, if we really are going to do this, we need to pack our stuff and go to California. That's where all the, professional, like Charlotte, North Carolina is for NASCAR. California, without a doubt, is the center, the core hub for NHRA, National Hot Rod Association. So, that's where Edelbrock was, Hooker Headers, all the Fisher Motor, all of the people, we went there. So, that's the first reason that I moved there. I wanted to get a job there and I wanted to hang around people that race cars every weekend. I lived in an area where we only race cars, once a month, So now if you're around a bunch of people that have higher expectations, higher standards, they live life just a little different. Now all of a sudden I'm hanging around people that have $1 million coaches, multi-million-dollar car trailers, They have 3 or 4 cars. They got a backup car and backup engines in case something fails at the racetrack. Whole different level. And people that are making this kind of money, that's of course how I connected with Roger Penske. And now you're like, wow. You know, these people go back and forth from home to the airport in their helicopter. You know, they're getting on a private jet to go to racetrack. They don't drive in the motor coach. Someone drives the motor coach there, so they have a place to hang out with their family that they flew in a private jet. And I know what a lot of you are probably saying. You're like, I don't need all that. Okay. Find people who want that. Find people that want that. So Daniel reached out to me today and he said, hey, Robert, I finally, got the science of getting rich. I did what you told me and I read the chapters, 4, 14, and 7 in the order that you told me to. And all of a sudden it's like, boom! My mind went, wow, if other people can do it, why can't I? And see, when I hung around these people, they told me to do things that I'm going to share with you right now. And you'll see, guess what? If 3% of the people in the world, 3% of the people in the world, make over $500,000 a year and have this incredible lifestyle, you know what I mean? They do a lot of things differently, really, really differently. They keep raising their standards. They keep raising their expectations. They hang around people that do different things. So the first time that I heard, Robert, you got to write down clearly on paper. Hi, Gwen. Hi, Mike. Clearly define what your goals are. You got to write them down. They got to be very clear, specific. And I went, oh, is that what wealthy people do? Okay, I'll do it. You're in trouble when someone says to you, hey, listen, get this book and read chapter, 4, 14, and 7 in that order. Go do that. Get back to me. And they never get back to you. They never get back to you. So when I heard that I had to clearly define my goals, and then someone said to me, this was back before, oh my God, the internet. And I had to take the little money that I had, and I had to go to a bookstore, and I had to buy magazines like the Robb Report and the Architect, book, car book. I bought all these books and started cutting out pictures and making vision boards. People said, man, you got to post what you want on the wall so it's in your sight all the time. Whether it's income, whether it's getting large checks from the IRS, whether it's having race cars. You got to have these things in clear sight. Clear sight. And I went, okay, if that's what you got to do to be successful, I'll create a vision board. And then all of a sudden, these things came out where, wow, the internet came out. And now you not only can get pictures of places that you want to go and visit and the things that you can do. And all of a sudden, there's not only you can go Google them and find them, but now there's people that are making movies. Now what you can do is these, there's little programs, I think it's Canva, not very expensive, where you can actually now take pictures, There's probably the Robb Report online now. And so now you can go out and grab pictures of things and put them in a movie. You know what I mean? Make a PowerPoint out of it. And now it's a movie and you can put your favorite music. I believe in magic. Da, da, da. You can have everything your heart desired. Put some music behind it. Get that in your head. Get that in your head. Are you guys hearing me? And then all of a sudden, you got movies and now you got on internet. Now, every company out there, every resort, jets, planes, whatever you want. Now you can go to custom homes, people that make custom homes in your area or the area that you want to move. And now they have videos. They have videos of walkthrough of custom homes. Terry and I still to this day, know the area we want to live. We got pictures of us, pictures of Terry and I on the lot that we want. We know the people that have custom homes. Whenever there's a home going up, Terry and I are still going to YouTube, putting in that address and watching the walkthrough of that home. Terry and I consistently still go out and go to grand openings. We have this thing called the Parade of Homes. And I know that it's easy. Listen, you guys, I understand that it's so easy to do frickin' nothing. I get it. But a luxury experience once becomes a necessity. And so Terry and I have been in some pretty spectacular homes. And you see some people on here like Craig and Melody. These people have been to my homes with an S. Melody's not only been in our homes in California, Melody's been in our home in Montana. So all of a sudden you go, wow, if that person can have it, why can't I? What did they do to get this? And you guys will find out that it's very simple. You find a path of what someone else has done to get it, and then you follow that path. And so I know people that have made hundreds of millions of dollars in this industry, hundreds of millions of dollars. And I still follow them, and they're the ones that I watch. And it's like, really, what do I do every day? Every day I expose people to a way that they can achieve their dreams. So the last one is, of course, 6-phase meditation. It's not easy. I'm telling you, this is not easy. To slate a point of time in your life where you got to close your eyes and you got to imagine with all your senses, your sense of smell, what's it smell like? And I've done this, I think we could find it, the perfect day. Where, when you wake up in the morning, what's it look like in your room? What's it feel like in the room? What do you hear? What do you feel? You go out on the patio and you can hear the waves, or you can hear the birds, or you can hear a waterfall like at our place. And you can feel the sun in your face. And you love the people that are around you. I never even thought about this. Melody Riba's been on personal Learjets with me. Are you guys? Yeah, I know that some of you are going, I don't need all this stuff. Find people who do. Find people that want the better things in life. They want the better things in life. That's what you find. And if you introduce a couple of people like me that want the finer things in life, they want to experience, they want to give millions and millions of dollars to charity. Yeah, Gwen, that's an awesome one as well. Listen to it many times. But you got to learn to dream again. You got to spend a specific amount of time a day writing out your goals. You got to spend a specific time a day of looking at your goals. You got to spend a certain amount of time just getting yourself into the emotions of what it's going to feel like to do things for other people. So the thing still to this day is I just love putting smiles on people's faces. I just love helping them experience things that they didn't think was possible for them. And do most people go back? Yeah, they do. They jump in and then they go back. They go back to the comfort zone. They go back to the complacency. They go back to, just getting by and really not making a difference in this world. I want my children to always look at me and my grandchildren to always look at me as like, man, dad or grandpa frickin' lights some stuff on fire, man. He is always making things happen. You wouldn't believe how many people have told me, oh my God, I would never go there. And I've traveled all over the world and still will. So you got to spend time. If you don't make it a priority to constantly put yourself into a dream state, I'm thinking, 3 years from now in the 6-phase meditation, it says, imagine, the income that you have. Imagine the home that you have. Imagine the people that you're helping. Imagine the shape that you're in. Imagine the relationships you're in. Imagine your new skill levels. Imagine the ability of you getting things done in this world. And to close out this video, I can't imagine my life not having that. I can't imagine being in a mental state of, oh my God, same crap, different day. My life is frickin' boring. I honestly mean nothing to nobody. And me and Matthew have talked about this. It's like, man, there's so many young people in this world that have lost hope. They don't think that the American dream or any dreams still exist. But they do. But they do. So that's how to dream. If you haven't in a while, go house shopping just for the hell of it. If you haven't in a while, go to car dealerships. Check out some automobiles. Check out what it would cost. Eric, for a new van. You got to do it. You got to do it. You got to dream again. Thank you, Craig. Because if you don't know what you want and you're not specific with what you want to do, what you want to create, it doesn't have to be about material stuff. It could be creating memories that takes your breath away for you and your family by going to a resort, paying for everything, having enough money to do all the excursions. It could be helping out a charity. It could be traveling to do, building schools, or you got to find something that makes you alive. So Daniel, thank you very much for this. So, when I read Science of Getting Rich and it said, you know what? It's like they spin it, right? Everything's the exact opposite of what we think. But that phrase that I understand now, that I was created to be a creator. And if God created me to be a creator and I just decide not to create, I just decide not to grow, I just make a decision that, I'm just going to see how I can barely get by. And I know there's no biblical principles or any principles that this is based on. But here's my final dream that I want to share with you. That whether there's another place or not, if I'm standing in front of my Creator, and even though based on different belief systems, there's a way to be able to graduate, to go into this next place some call heaven. And I just have this thought that, God, will use God. And he just says, Robert, what did you do with the years that I gave you on earth to deserve to move on? And I just want millions and millions and millions of people that are already up there going, let him in! Let that guy in! Because I wasn't lazy. I took the time to go out there and find a bunch of people that knew a bunch of people that knew a bunch of people that with their last time on earth, they were able to enjoy all that was created. They felt like they were enough. They felt like they were worthy. They felt like they were deceiving. They knew they should receive. They knew they should receive and grow and be the best thing they can be. You don't have to tell flowers to grow. You don't have to tell trees to grow. Everything grows. But a lot of people don't. And I just want to look at him and smile and shrug my shoulders. And he says, you know what? I'm proud of you, good and faithful servant. I'm proud of you. Ah! I don't want no one showing up at, no one celebrating, when I'm no longer here. I need to make a difference. I want to make a difference. So, that's how you dream. If it can be done for other people, it can be done for you. You just got to believe it. What if you were like me when I first started out? When I first started out and seen a check for $62,000, I don't know if you guys have ever done this, but you guys can go to documentationbeastconversation.com. But, it's like maybe you haven't had a chance to give to charities yet. Maybe you haven't been able to experience life at its fullest. Get this. I'm creating new goals every day. I imagine new things every day. Because I know with $1 million a month, I can do more impact than I can with 50, 60, 100,000 a month. I can make a bigger impact. I can make a bigger difference. So I'm thinking bigger. You can definitely think bigger. So anyway, when you got that stuff and it's exciting for you, and you get up every day trying to make sure that you're the messenger that actually, gives the message to people that are at the right place at the right time in their life. So you don't have to be the person. Me and Eric were talking about this today. You don't have to be the person that knows all the answers. You can guide and direct them to someone who does. Someone that can inspire them. Someone that can get them to the next thing. So when I met my mentor and I seen $62,000 a month, what do you think I said to myself? I don't need 62 grand right now. I don't even think I could do that. But I'd like to make 3,800. I would like to make 3,800 take home. I'd like to pay my debt down. I'd like to be able to figure out how I could do this full time. So if I'm focused and following someone that has a certain way that has made 62 grand a month, if I just did my best each and every day to do what he's doing, be consistent, be persistent, and just don't overthink and just get as many people in front of the message as I could, as fast as I could, then do I believe that I could make 3,800? Well, you already showed me a bunch of testimonials of people that did that. So you could look at our MDC income disclosure and go, wow, there's a lot of people that are making above 3,800. Let me start there. And then maybe I could get to 5,000. And so while I'm covering all my bills and living and not having to get a job, maybe I could push that to 5,000 and then pay down all this credit card debt and all of this stuff. And then, maybe after that, maybe I could save enough money to actually get a very good, reliable car, not a new car, just a really, really good, reliable car. I think Terry and our very first really good, reliable car was a used Toyota Camry. And I forget that I think we got it from like CarMax. I think they just started out. Oh my God, our interest rates were ridiculous and the amount that I had to put down. But damn it, we had a reliable car. And it's like, wow, what if we could actually get our own home instead of renting home and leasing homes? Wouldn't it be cool? Wouldn't it be cool, to own a home? Ladies and gentlemen, you can do this. You can do this. But you got to start hanging around people that believe that it can be done, not hanging around a bunch of idiots that are incompetent, that are basically walking around life like zombies, unconscious. What's that phrase? It's like, most people die at 25. They die in their 20s, but they don't get buried till maybe in their late 60s, 70s, and 80s. It's like, come on. If other people can do this, you can do it. We're not talking about a few people that make a full-time income in this industry. We're talking about hundreds and thousands of people that are making a full-time income in MDC, which I know as an expert in this industry for 35 years is without a doubt the best company that's out there. So if you see this video, you got to connect with someone that shared it with you. And so with that, I love and appreciate you. I believe in you. I know you can do this. You got to do baby steps, but you won't move forward if you have nothing to look forward to. You got to have dreams and goals that you look forward to. Learning how to move money around and survive month to month is not a good skill. Ignorance, that was the word. Stop listening to ignorant people. And in closing, if no one's giving you permission to succeed in life, let me give it to you. That's what my mentors said to me. They said, Robert, you can do this. I'm telling you, you can do this. You can frickin' do this. Take the baby steps each and every day. Follow a certain path instead of doing a million different things that you'll never ever master. Figure out the exact way that you need to go so that you can do this. I'm here to help you. You can check out roberthollis.com/free. I know Craig and everyone's been great at sharing it. And share this video. And if some of you see this video recorded or live and someone shared it with you, get back with them. Create a free account. Come on. Little higher expectations. Do it for you and your family. Be the person that everyone looks up to and said, oh my God, see, Angela did it. Ola did it. Kai did it. Zoltan did it. Peter did it. Vernee did it. Melody did it. Javi did it. I'm sorry I can't go back anymore. Kim, yeah, do it. I love you guys. See you on the next video. Bye for now.